So again, one other important quality that I will give you small bits and pieces is an important quality of a leader is reflection. Suppose you are learning horse riding. You fall down from the horse. Okay, the first ride, second ride. Then what do? Do you give up horse riding? You are passionate about horse riding. I am just taking an example. It could be anything. It could be swimming, it could be car driving, it could be anything. The first lessons, none of us are 100% successful. There are imperfections in what we do. You are thrown off from the horse. What do you do next?
Make another coaxed effort.
Make
another coaxed effort.
One thing is you do the effort. You want to repeat and see, maybe practice and then get the perfection. But you also start reflecting what mistakes you made. You go to an examination hall. Now we are all beyond examination. Okay. So you go to the examination hall. Normally as a student what we would have done, there were 10 questions to be answered. We would answer only 8. Either we didn't know the answer to, or we didn't have time, or whatever it is. You could answer only 8. But when you come out of the hall, if you are a very studious student who aims at certain ranks and percentages, don't you not start reflecting what mistakes I did, why my managing, what happened to my time management? Should I have focused less on question number 4? Did I write more on question number 5? Or why I did not prepare for this? Why I missed out? Did my friends influence me to say that don't read this lesson, no question will come from that? That's what. Have we not reflected in our days? Why I could not solve this problem? Maybe this chapter I overlooked, I took it easy. So there is a reflection always happening in us. And a good leader is one who keeps reflecting on whatever has been done. So reflection is a very important phase of getting into the leadership. If you don't reflect, every day you come out of the office, chalo aaj ka din khatam, tala darwaja band ho gaya, my day is over. But if you start reflecting what I could have done better, how I could have treated that customer better, or how I could have influenced my frontline to treat the customers better, or did I take the staff meeting easy today, or did I do the customer meet just as one of the rituals, or I was very much into it, how focused I was. These are the reflections. Do we do these reflections? We don't. Do we do it? How many of you do such reflections?
Sometimes we do.
Sometimes you do. No, but it has to be, if you have to be a good leader, you have to have good reflection. Because that really helps you to sort of, I won't even say correct, to sort of look back and improve yourself. Correct? It may be a little more harsh word. I can say you look for improvement through reflection. So a good leader always gets back at the end of the day, or whatever he does, he gets into a mode of reflection which results in improvement, because ultimately you start reflecting, you start improving. And once you improve, people watch out. It's not that as a branch manager you sit in the cabin. How many pairs of eyes are watching you? Your own customers, your own staff, your own superiors, everybody is watching. As you start showing improvement, your own personal improvement, reflective improvements result in better performance. And people are watching. If you get angry and shout at a customer or at your staff, you go back and reflect. Was I right in doing it? I should not have lost my temper. I could have still managed this better. So next time I am not going to lose my temper, or I am not going to argue with the customer, yet I will prevail upon him in my own way and improve the ways that I communicate. If you decide to do that upon reflection, and you start doing it, people are watching. You start influencing. See, boss used to shout, "Hey, itne gusse ka aadmi tha," how he is changing, how he is handling. It's a treat to watch my boss, handle the angry customer or an angry staff or a very demotivated staff. So what happens is, all this again results in a positive orientation, making people get influenced. Because as at the branch level, you are a branch leader, you are a business leader. At your levels, at the branches, you are a business leader, because you need to promote business. Because there are different types of leaderships. In the bank, it's the CEO, like people like us, it is strategic leadership. We provide strategies. At your level, it is business leadership. At your RM's level or the circle level, it is an implementational leadership. Because whatever are the corporate goals and thoughts, that need to be executed through the branch outlets by the circle heads or whatever, regional heads or whatever you call them. So there are different, at your level it is business leadership, how you drive business and how the business leadership happens. Maybe when you rise to the level, so the leadership changes again. At your level it is business leadership. Tomorrow you become a circle head, it's a different leadership. Or it could be even a strategic leadership at his level, because he has to strategize the implementation in a smaller way. Whereas at the macro level, it's a strategy leadership that is seen at the the top management level or the CMD level. So there is also a dynamics happening in the leadership and how you fit into it. So one is performance and practice. Are you all in agreement with me? Because I also need to have your agreement. Do you all agree performance and practice is essential for good leaders?
Yes.
But I mean, are you able to reflect on that thought? Because unless you are again, leaders are highly convinced people, and they need to have certain convictions also. Unless you believe, you will not be able to take it, because it is not only talking or sermonizing and rhetorics. It is, you should feel the thought. When I say that I must perform and practice, I must be doing. Otherwise, it is not a sort of a cliched expressions that you come and give in the class. So you need to perform. If you have to have reflection. Do you believe in reflection?
Yes.
You believe in reflection. So you believe reflection will help you to improve yourself? Certainly, because it is again a sort of an intangible thing. That nobody can say sit and reflect for 15 minutes. You can just doze off, or you can get into wandering thoughts. But it is a self-discipline that we start reflecting. So one more thing I just wanted to share with you on this is the investment in leadership that is happening now. It is a real investment. In the sense, investment in the sense of grooming people who can be the future leaders in the bank. So there will be several batches coming like this, because it's an investment the bank has decided to do it, and it has to pay off. For that, you have to work on the leadership, lines. Then, leaders also bring about cultural change. See, a branch is working in a certain way. Maybe, branch existed. It must be existing for the last 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. But in your own way, if you are able to influence people and bring about a cultural change in that particular branch, maybe there nobody cares for tallying certain balances or certain reconciliations, whatever it is. There could be different, or stationery and security forms are not maintained properly, premises is not maintained properly. Whatever it is, if you are able to bring about a change in the people, in terms of the culture, in terms of culture is not the PNB culture, in terms of given circumstances, you are able to influence people and change them. Maybe the premises has to be neat, this has to be done. Whatever circulars come, they have to be shared with people. I must hold my meetings properly. By this, you are again influencing people. How to, and many times, people who have worked under you become, maybe when you become GMs, they will become chief managers. They always reflect on this. I worked under him, I picked up. That's how you influence people. So it becomes very, very important in your own way as a leader, how you change the culture of the setup, wherever you are operating for the better. So that also becomes very important. And what's emerging in the current, somebody mentioned about the current circumstances, the times that we are living in. How many types of leadership you all know? You must have heard of it. You must, whatever types of leadership you would have heard.
Spiritual leaders.
Okay, spiritual leadership, yeah.
Situational leaders.
Then,
Democratic.
Autocratic leaders.
This is
Okay.
autocratic.
no, you don't think of politics, you think of management also.
Dictator.
Dictators, okay. So you have, what we are all is, we are transactional leaders. We are more bound by transactions that is happening around us. Not only the what do you call, the transactions that happen at the branch, the literal sense, but otherwise also we relate to each other through transactions. So one is transactional leadership, transformational leadership, that's the change leadership. You have servant leadership. You have, as somebody said, dictatorial leadership, benevolent leadership. Also you have now what is emerging, speed leadership. I don't know whether you have heard about it or not. Speed leadership is another term that's, it's again, people may say, oh, it is all the books. It is not so. In speed leadership, you want to execute things because the changes are influencing us. We are influenced by the external changes that are happening around us. And in speed leadership, you have to be really at speed. And then, so resources are going to be limited. It is not that to perform this, if I need 10 officers, I will not get 10 officers. I will get only 5 officers. But how I am going to organize, or how I am going to drive my people to get it happen is the speed leadership. So the current times warrant speed leadership. You see from the head office, this comes. We say the proposal, anything that comes to you should be processed within 7 days. You have taken 70 days also once upon a time. How you match your resources, or how you put in the right kind of people, how important you realize the proposal is, and how you deploy the resources and make the, happen with the momentum defines the speed leadership. So what we all are looking to is, at the branch level, at the banking level, is the speed leadership. How quick we are able to execute as a leader. Execution, would happen, but how we are able to match with the time and the speed and the requirements and given the limited resources, that becomes our speed leadership. Because it's a very new thing, but it is most suitable to our current context and the current way that we are operating. And most important for any leader is the qualities of, all this could be there. You may be a speed leader, you may be a very excellent strategic thinker, you may have a lot of plus. But what's most important is the honesty, integrity, and ethical behavior is very, very important. If it doesn't happen, some people may say I'm influenced by even people like Harshit Mehta. Once upon a time, they were leaders. But as things came out, as a scam broke out, it was very, very, he was a hero. Was he not a hero? Harshit Mehta, once upon a time. When the market was booming, when everybody was making money, if he said buy this share, people ran to buy that. People made money, so he became a god. Some people have said after hearing following Harshit Mehta's scripts, I married off 2 daughters. Somebody said I married off my sister in a very grand way. People made money. But when the whole scam broke out, and there could be right and wrong, whatever it is, whatever it threw off, people got very dejected. So what hurt people was the unethical ways, the dishonest ways, and not being with integrity hurt the people most. So any leader, any leader need to have this as a prime quality, being honest, being ethical, and being a man of integrity. In Punjab National Bank, sometimes when you get cases, there is a Google mail, all of us have an alert. Anywhere the word Punjab National Bank comes, the mail will come to us. I don't know whether you have it?
No.
So anywhere, anything, it could be an advertisement, it could be a recruitment, and sometimes we get, PNB manager caught by CBI for accepting bribe of 5,000 rupees. Before anybody knows, this message will come in a black mail.
Based on a keyword.
Huh?
It is based on a keyword.
Keyword or whatever it is, it comes. What I'm telling is, when you read such thing, you really get pained, because this is one quality. Automatically, if these 3 are there, honesty, ethics, and integrity, the performance follows, and you are able to stand by yourself. Such news, when it comes into it could be in some corner of the country. I don't say all the 62,000 are good. There could be some black sheep. There could be some people with weaknesses, but it doesn't make us good leaders. The person never deserves to be a leader, to claim, and I would say if he's a branch manager, he should be shifted up immediately. So these kind of, succumbing to pressures, or even, the way we have to say no. We need to say no. I mean, we can't get, a good leader is one, if he decides to say no, after a lot of conviction, he will be able to say. But just because the circular says, नहीं ये proposal कैसे नहीं करेंगे, इसमें क्या है गलत, आप देख लो. Then you say, yes sir, कर देंगे sir. No, if you are convinced that it isn't worth it, there is something that you feel that it is very disturbing or it is not worth it. I don't think you, as a good leader, in your own right, you need to convince the, the circular saying that 1, 2, 3, I'm not convinced. So I'm not comfortable. I think the power of convincing, with conviction at your end, would make a difference. So these are, some of the things that as a branch manager or as somebody operating at the level of 4 and 5, we expect the best, the most important quality that we expect out of a leader is the honesty that he displays. That makes him, that really differentiates him. It stands by him wherever he is and whatever he is. So this is a very, very important quality that, that we need to keep always with us. In whatever cadre, tomorrow you may become CMD, you may become ED, you may become GM, whatever you become. You need to have, you may change your style because it's style changes. As a branch manager, what I did as a leader was different. What I did as a zonal manager was very different. And what I'm doing as ED is very, very different. So the styles may change, the roles may change, but there are certain basic underlying things, like patient hearing, understanding people, having empathy, compassion. These are all qualities of a good leader. Empathy and sympathy are different. So you empathize with a person, you have that human touch, because ultimately a good leader is one who also what do we do? Suppose somebody doesn't listen to you or doesn't, you feel he is not in line with your thoughts. Where do you take, where do you take him to, how do you take him to task? You work on his ACR, what do you call here? PMS. PMS. This confidential report, when you write annual confidential report, instead of, he may be a very good worker on the desk, but we give him 60 marks and see that he never gets his promotion. But you have, if you are a good leader, you would say, as far as I am concerned, yes, we have difference of opinion. As far as work is concerned, he is tremendous. There is nobody parallel to him. So he deserves 85. The difference is apart. That is where you get differentiated from a manager and, psychologically from a leader. A leader recognizes the merit and he gives space for people to grow. At our normal level, we always compete with people. You say, acha, main bhi scale for, wo bhi scale for, kaun AGM banta hai? Like that, the spirit has to be there, competition has to be there. But a leader says, I have become AGM, my chief manager should become AGM. I must see that, I must give him he becomes a coach, he becomes a mentor, he adopts him. He adopts him. And he says, okay, here is a good boy, here is a good scale 3 officer I have. Let me nurture him. We have all seen, today if I am here, I have been nurtured by people who spotted me. It is not, there are so many good people, but some leader decided that yes, here is a person whom I can nurture, whom I can help grow in career. He is not giving promotions. But if he is a good credit officer, you see that he is given the space to grow. You see that he becomes a scale 4. If he is going to be around you as a scale 3 for another 5 years, it's an asset for you. But a good leader is one who will give space for people to grow. So that is where you become a leader and you make others grow along as you have grown. Because you have been spotted by somebody. Somebody thought that he is good. Not alone your performance. Somebody spoke for you. Not because you were a sycophant of that person. Not that you were a sycophant of the circle that he recommended you. But he saw some talent in you. He wants to nurture. So a good leader nurtures performance. A good leader encourages meritocracy. He doesn't encourage mediocrity. So if you are a good leader, or if somebody is weak, you feel if I adopt him, if I bring him under my fold, or if I mentor him, I coach him, I tell him this is what you need to do and you need to improve. And you can see the improvement. I'll tell you, if you take one of those, not a bright officer, but you make him grow, you influence him, you train him, you coach him. Like our own family, the children, we take one of the children is weak, then we take care of him more, give extra this thing to the person, attention. So like that if you give, and you are able to make a good officer out of him or a bright officer out of him for which nobody bothered, I think you will be the happiest person too. And you become a leader because you have given the space. I said it could be a brilliant officer, it could be a very ordinary officer whom you have nurtured to become a good, maybe get his promotion or spot the talent in him. Somebody could be very good in marketing, but nobody told you to do marketing. So the space you give for people's talent makes you a good leader at the branch level and at wherever you are, whatever level you are. So identification of talent, nurturance, and helping people to grow, helping people to progress in their career. These are all very, very important, qualities of a good leader. I mean, in our current context, we are talking about the branch, we are talking about banking, so it becomes very important. So we have seen some, I'm not the typical qualities I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to talk to you something which is very different from, the thing that people will talk to you. One is performance and practice, honesty, integrity, and we spoke about reflection. Because normally I don't know whether people will come and talk to you, but I thought these are some certain areas which are generally not attempted by people to talk to. People will say you should, supporting or promoting meritocracy and nurturing talent. These are some of the things that we need to, build in ourselves. If we are not having, we can always, as I said, leadership does training, or you don't create leaders by a 3-day training. But these small little things that you start doing to yourself will really change. I just came across a very interesting article, so I don't have time to, I'll just read out some portions to you. I mean, you can listen to it. See, this is written by, this is a topic on leaders are made. CDC, leaders are born, leaders are made, leaders are created. There are so many types of leaders. There are very few leaders who are born that we saw, like Mahatma Gandhi or Vivekananda or John F. Kennedy or Mandela. These people are, or Margaret Thatcher, whatever. They are all very few. You can, if I ask you to list out, there will be 50 names coming on the board, that's all. In a global population of so many billion, you will have only 50 people being mentioned who are born leaders. But the leaders are generally made. And how they are made, I'll just, because I don't have time to work on a PowerPoint or something, because it's very interesting. After coaching leaders worldwide for 35 years, I am convinced that the most essential element to being a successful leader is knowing your own strengths and weaknesses. Are we in agreement with this statement? I am in agreement with this.
Yes, absolutely.
As the Scottish poet Robbie Burns wrote, the greatest gift that God could give us is to see ourselves as others see us. Do we ever attempt at it? To see ourselves as others see us. How I am perceived by others. If I start thinking how I am perceived by others, that gives us scope for a lot of corrections in us. Sadly, few leaders seem to have an accurate picture of themselves. Since perception is often reality, the way your associates perceive you is reality to them. You see yourself through a limited myopic view, usually based on your intentions. Your intentions are always good, but you have to translate them into actions. So we always mean good to others. Nobody sits and says, I mean something bad. My intention is to spoil somebody. But our actions get the other way. So we perceive ourselves through our intentions, while others see us through the actions, the behavior. So this is very important. When we perceive ourselves through our intentions, but the world perceives us through our actions. If I sit and say all my officers have to become, GMs, my intentions are very good. Absolutely they are good. But if I prove that in my circle say there are, say, 50 officers who are going for a PhD promotion, sport promotion, and at least I get the 20 of the best or 10 of the best promoted, say we get 10, then my intention is that yes, I am encouraging the merit-oriented people, and I am showing that yes, my people, I stand by them, I am giving them an opportunity, I speak for them. So if I say I want all my officers to be chief manager, the intentions are very good, but my actions only will speak what I am for. Whether I am for merit, whether I am for psychophancy, or even the people who are वो तो circulate का बड़ा चेला है, वो तो promote होएगा ही होएगा. Do we not talk amongst ourselves? वो तो होना ही होना है, ये तो क्या expected ही था, वो तो बड़ी चेला है. We talk ना. When you get such results, and when you see somebody who is an excellent worker, he is a stupid fellow, he sits and works quietly, that's all. He doesn't show himself, so he is not noticed. So वो तो होना ही था इसको. So when the intentions could be good of the leader, but as long as they are not translated into actions and seen by the world, it is not recognized. So we need to be perceived. Even perception is, there's a subject called perception management. How you manage your perceptions. That is also a new branch that is coming up. So you are with me on this? Because I need to ask you, are you with me on this when we say that, we limit ourselves to our intentions. The world looks at us through the actions. It's yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? Sorry, your name? There's a place. Again it says, to gain a more complete picture, ask yourself, what is it like to work with me? Do we ever ask this question? What is it like to work with me? How do you think your supervisors, associates and team members would answer this question? Suppose you go and ask, make a survey of yourself. Ask them, would you like to work with me? You take a poll. How they would say, अच्छा इसके साथ काम करना अच्छा है, नहीं बाबा ये तो बड़ी vindictive है, इसके साथ नहीं काम करना है, नहीं ये तो मतलबी है, इसके साथ काम नहीं करना. Oh, he's a very nice person. He is always for people. He's a people's man. I would like, if I get an opportunity in life, I would like to work with him. So this kind of a thing, when you have a perception, when you go around, how do you think these people would like to work with you? What do they see about you that you don't? How does their perception of you affect their willingness to support and follow your direction? Because many times, we get it done because we are the power. The leadership position comes with power as well. So you have a power, but how you deploy it, how well you use it for the betterment or the right kind of implementation, the right kind of approach, it matters a lot. Because all of you come with powers. As a branch head or as a circle head or as somebody in circle, you have certain powers vested in you. But a leader deploys the powers very appropriately. He doesn't get onto his head. So a leader is one who has his feet on ground and head on shoulders. This is very important. Because tomorrow you become a DGM, you become a circle head. You always have to think that how I was treated as a manager by the circle head, and if you are treated badly, you should learn from him how not to treat my own managers. So that's a learning. That's a sort of an observational learning. Some people insult. In my branch manager meeting is called. Yes, you have to be very stiff. You have got to get the work done. You have to express your feelings. But there are certain people, you will come across a case, I'll just tell you that. So one is identify and capitalize on your strengths. There are two things you need to do. One is identify and capitalize on your strengths. To leverage your talents and strengths, you first need to be aware of them. Are we aware of our strengths? What is your strength, Mr. Kera?
One is listening to my speakers and getting good tips from them, and then another is my own hard work, my own self-made life.
So your strength is hard work. Okay. Somebody else? Apka, what is your strength?
Honesty.
Okay. Hard work. Hard working or hardly working? Hard work. Anybody else? Mr. Parmar.
Very difficult question, ma'am.
Hey, you have so many strengths. The best of best, बताइए. If you have so many, best of best.
My analytical skills.
Okay. Yeah,
Patient listener.
Patient listener. Yeah, you look to be a person who is a good listener. You seem that you come across as a person. Sethi ji.
Hardworking and self-discipline. Timely decision.
Okay. Anybody else? Last person. Because
Ma'am, knowledge sharing.
knowledge sharing. अभी नया आए ना, Mr. Agarwal ना? You are Agarwal? Now, what is your strength? We are talking about strengths of individuals. What do you think, what do you perceive as your strength?
My hard working and my knowledge.
The knowledge. Where, which area? You will have some stronghold, na? Maybe administration, maybe credit, maybe forex. What is your area of strength?